Maria.avi, and welcome to my wire coiling video. This is pretty exciting new material that I have to share with you. I sell all of these materials that I'll be speaking of. They are on mariasartcreations.com. What's very, very nice is that we have eliminated a big step of coiling the wire for the first stage of creating this little bead right here. Now, what makes this happen is the hollow coiling wire right here, which comes in many colors and shapes and sizes that I will share with you, and the size of the needle that we use to form this bead. What will be necessary is a little bit on your plan. What size of diameter inside the hole is for your interest, because we will want to determine how to use the bead. Number one, do we want to place it on the leather cording and just slip it through? Or another option is slipping a larger wire bead over some other cording, and then possibly the other situation of being perhaps linking it together, as I will share with you in another form of use with this bead. The beads come hollow, the wire comes hollow. What you need to be aware of when you purchase it, you'll have 5 of these nice generous strands per package. You see right here is where it is joined. It's very easy for you to see, maybe not so much here on the camera, but it sure is very obvious in the packaging. You want to remove with the wire cutters that little section that put those two pieces together. The next thing is determining again to make them uniform, as I have done here. Every one of these I made by hand. I wanted them all to be equal in size. So the next thing that you'd like to do is to be sure you make that happen with a ruler. And I've taken the coil. With each of these beads, whether they be, the size of your choice, being the size of the bead that you want to work with, in addition to the needle that you use to coil, you'll want to make several of these same cuts. So you just put them right next to each other and you cut with the wire cutters. And then the next step is we need a working wire. 24 gauge is the size that is very workable and the best to use. What you're going to do is, again, deciding on the needle size. Right now, I want to make it so it fits on leather cording. Most importantly, you need to create about a 1-inch tail. Just hang it over the needle, and then you wrap 1 and 2 and all the way to about 5 wraps. By the way, these instructions and a visual is in each package of the wire. From there, we're going to slip this coiled wire onto the working wire, and see, it just slips right through. Bring it up to the needle and support it with your fingers right here so it has some chance to grab and not slip off, and you just start wrapping, and you wrap it until it's all the way wrapped around the needle. But continue with 5 more as you first started the coiling here. You end with the same here. Then you push in so they're nice and tight and it's nice and neat. you take it off of the needle, and then you flush cut it. So you have a really nice looking bead. And again, as uniform as you can get them. So that's one step. Let me just show you what you will see in your packaging as well. You've got choices to make of your gold, silver, this lovely sparkly copper, silver, and the gold. Pardon me, one more. There's antique copper as well. Now these can be intermixed with each other as well, which is very, very nice to see. And they can be worked over each other, so you have two different coils in color wires that you can work with. Alright, the next step is, I'd like to share with you how another way of using this is, if you notice all of this wire coiling, I've taken the entire piece and ran a 24 gauge all the way through to the full length. From there, it is now allowing you the mobility to work, and this coil will absolutely keep its shape. That's just another way of using. Here's another fun idea that I'm going to create with you right now. And we're going to put the needle and everything back in place, and because what we're going to do is this project. Create embellishments. Now they could be made in earrings with a shorter feather, but what we want to do is make this as an embellishment for gourd art. And simply taking now the coil I created with a longer coil, approximately 3 inches I'm using. The difference with this particular one is that we want it to really hold its shape nicely. So I'm going to slip the 18 to 20 gauge. Both work very well. We'll begin with needle nose pliers to create the starting of a coil. And there, we just want about that much of a coil. Bring the wire coil up to that point. Now do not press on the actual coiling wire of this kind right here. You want to take what little tiny loop there is and use the tool to just give it a little bit more of a chance to twist, because the next thing is really about the use of your fingers and to create this really neat coil. It's holding its shape really, really nice, and I just love this wire, and it's already well done for you. It's so convenient. The next thing is, if you need to at first when you're learning how to do this and you want to gauge, you want to first leave about 1/4 of an inch of the wire. If you feel you need to go and measure that, go for it. The next thing is, what we're doing is creating a little bit of a loop, just like this. And there you have the connection that we're going to make happen. The next part is, see, I have one already made, and what we have to do is add some jump rings to allow it to hang. So step 2, let's just stop a minute and go back, and what we're going to use is about another 4-inch working wire, and that is also 20 gauge. And again, create a little bit of an overhang, about so. So it gives you the mobility and the strength you need to hang on to that coil so it doesn't spin around the needle. And give it about 3 or 4 twists. And this time, not so tight next to each other. So we have that kind of decorative cut. And what I usually do is just take off that little bit off of the bottom. And then the next thing is we're going to go back to the spiral and simply add 2 jump rings. These are 4mm jump rings, and you need 2 of them. One to actually attach to the spiral that we just made, and then to another one attaching it so they hang nicely on the feather. And I'll show that picture back to you in a second. Okay, so here we have 2 jump rings next to each other. I'm going to set that down for a quick second. The next thing I have is a cluster of feathers. There's about 4 on here. I used tacky glue to attach them to the top. And now we're going to take the bead that I just made earlier. We're going to slip this part, this little added piece, we're going to slip that through like so. And then the feather is going to slip right in there. So here I'm just going to move it out of the way for a quick second. And there, it's a nice tight fit. There's the step 1 to how to do that. On the top, we're going to, with the needle nose pliers, we're bending that wire nice and tight at the top, trimming it to 1/4 of an inch off the top, and this is what you're going to have, is this little shank right here. With the round nose pliers, let's take it and just create an eye, which is right there. Now that's going to give you your top connection. With the 2 pieces of jump ring, one is meant to allow this to dangle nicely, and the other one connects around the neck of the feather, as well as the wire that we coiled. It's up to you as to where you want to position it. So here we have a really nice embellishment and coiling. Well, how do we hang it? Real quick, I'll just share with you that I've taken a 6mm jump ring, and with that I've been able to put leather cording through. But we can connect at the top here, close it up, and then here is how you would hang your embellishment. I'm going to lay it down so you can see it, and you can tie this around the neck of your gourd. And if you wish to create these into earrings, again a little shorter on the feather length, and add an earring loop. I hope you enjoyed this, and please find the wonderful wire for sale on my website under the wire and the What's New section. Thank you.